let's get started. So again, welcome you all to the Up 10 Skills, the technical webinar series. Today's topic is cybersecurity in forensics, and this is your instructor Anshul. Okay. Now, before starting with this session, let me tell you about myself first. So basically, I'm a cyber forensic and security enthusiast. I have MTech in cyber forensics. I have global certification in the field like Comtech Security Plus, OS Forensic Star Certified Examiner, Poly Certified Vulnerability Management Specialist, Splunk Certified User. So I've tried my hand with the security, with the forensics, with the vulnerability management, as well as the data analysis using the Splunk. Apart from this, as Vijay sir told, I'm a cybersecurity trainer with ITM Education Solution Private Limited. Apart from this, if you have any problem with your real life also, I'll be helpful for that also. I'm a motivational and technical speaker also. So this is all about me. Let's not waste so much time on me, and let's get started and see what we are going to cover in today's session. Okay, so this is what we are going to cover in today's session. I'm going to divide this 1.5 hour into two parts. First part will be cybersecurity fundamentals, where we are going to discuss some cybersecurity fundamentals. It might be possible that you already know these fundamentals, but it is really important in order to learn something advanced in the cybersecurity. Your fundamentals should be strong in the beginning. Okay, so we are going to discuss cybersecurity fundamentals, in which we are going to cover CIA triad, practically how we can implement CIA triad, then triple A, how we can implement triple in the real world, and what are the security mechanisms present in the real world. After that, we are going to see some demonstration of common attacks present over there, in which we are going to cover phishing, SQL injection, DOS, and if time permits us, we are going to see the malware also. See, guys, I must tell you in the beginning itself that there are a number of attacks in the cyber security and in the cyber world, which we can explore one by one. Okay. After this particular session, I'll recommend you to go for OWASP Top 10. Okay, which is a OWASP project, which is for open source vulnerability assessment techniques, which is dedicatedly for web applications. So I'll recommend you to go for that also. Check out those also. I'll discuss about these also if time permits. So let's get started with the session. I'll turn off my video and we'll see what we are here to see. So, okay, so let's start with the session. Now, the first topic of today is CIA triad. I hope you guys have seen this particular thing multiple times in your classes. If you have completed the course Information Security Fundamentals, I'm sure you have seen this particular triad. And if you're new into the field, doesn't matter. I'm going to explain it either or. Okay. So first of all, this is the fundamental, or we can say that pillar of cybersecurity: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So, what is the definition of cybersecurity? Definition of cybersecurity also derives from this particular thing only, the CIA triad. What is the definition of cybersecurity in the general term? You can say that cybersecurity is a prevention measure in order to prevent you from the cyber attacks. That's right, absolutely right. But if we go into the technicality, so it comes into our mind that cybersecurity means ensuring confidentiality, integrity, and availability of your IT system or your network. Okay, okay. So, in order to understand confidentiality, integrity, and availability, what are the importance of these particular terminologies? We need to understand in order to pursue your career in cybersecurity. Okay, just a second. I hope my voice is not clearly visible, audible to you. Just everything's fine. So, okay. So now, what is confidentiality? First of all, let us see that. What is confidentiality? So basically, confidentiality means keeping a particular thing secret. In general term, we can say that keeping a particular thing secret is known as confidentiality. I hope you have seen your confidentiality thing in your real world also, real life also, right? We used to talk with each other and say, don't tell it to anybody else because this is confidential. It is a secret between us. Okay. So if you talk about the technical definition of confidentiality, then it is that means the intended person should see the message only. If A is sending a message to B, so only A and B, means both legitimate parties should see the message or the resources. Nobody can intercept that particular message. That is known as confidentiality, means secrecy of the message. Okay. Now, how anyone can breach confidentiality? Anyone can breach confidentiality using the MITM attack, which is man in the middle attack. Okay, anybody can intercept your channel by which the data is transmitting from one end to another end. Okay. Now what they'll do with the intercepted data, what they can do anything. They can read that particular message, okay, and they can move on to another step and breach the integrity also, but that we'll see in a few seconds. Okay. So for breaching the confidentiality, there are a number of attack present over there, but most common one is MITM, which is man in the middle attack. I hope you've heard about it. If you haven't heard about it, no worries. I'm going to tell you anyway. So now, how we can practically implement confidentiality? That's the question now. So for implementing the confidentiality, what we can do, we can implement encryption, means cryptography in the real world. Okay, I hope you have heard about the encryption. You can reply in the chat box also, so we can keep this session interactive. So let's see. Let's move on further. Also, you can reply in the chat box. I'm going to see that in a while. In a while. Okay. So what is now if confidentiality is breached somehow? Suppose MITM attack has happened on your network or on your IT system, and the confidential message which A was sending to B has intercepted by C. Okay, and it can be modified also. Obviously, if anyone can read your message, it can be modified also now. So if it is modified, then it comes to the second category of CI threat, which is integrity. Integrity basically means correctness of your data, means your data should not be modified in transit. If suppose A is transmitting a data to B, and it is intercepted by C. Now, if it is intercepted, it is read only by C. That is fine. That is breaching confidentiality. But now, if it is modified and resent to B as A, then it is breaching integrity. Okay. Now, what can we do for ensuring the integrity? So, for ensuring the integrity, there is a very important concept of security, which is hashing. I hope you heard about hashing. I'll just open my notepad also to explain these things easier to you. Okay, suppose A is sending a message to B. Now suppose it is intercepted by C. So now C can read this particular message which is sent from A to B. Now if C have read that message, this is the breach in confidentiality, or first element of CI triad. Now suppose C will modify that particular message. Okay, C will modify that particular message and send it to the B. Now this is known as breach in integrity. Suppose A have sent a message as hi to B. Okay, but C have intercepted that particular message and change it to bye. Okay, so now this is the integrity breach, means we have breached the integrity. For ensuring the integrity, what we use for ensuring the integrity, we can use the concept of hashing. Now what hashing actually means, I hope you've heard about the hashing in your information security fundamentals. If you haven't heard about it, no worries. Hashing basically means it will be generated by a hash function. Okay, a value which is used to ensure the integrity, means data is not modified in between. How we can calculate the hash value? You can use cryptool also. Okay, for calculating the hash value of a particular message. But what is the concept behind the hashing is basically hash function is there. Okay, you'll apply a message to a hash function. You will apply a particular message to the hash function. Hash function can take input as a random length message, and can generate a fixed length key which you can send to the recipient end. Now let's understand this particular thing in a quick manner. What you can do, suppose A want to send a message to B. Again, we'll take a scenario. Okay, suppose A want to send a message to B. What A will do, A will calculate a hash value over here, and it will merge it with the message and then send it to B. Now at the B's end, now at the receiver's end means, now at the receiver end, what B will do, B will calculate the hash value of the message and check that particular hash value with the hash value sent by A. Okay. What B will do, B will calculate the hash value of that particular message again at the recipient end, and what it will do, it will match that particular hash value which is calculated by B with the hash value sent by A. If both the hash values are matches, that means integrity is maintained, nothing is modified in between. Now guys, you need to remember that if you will modify in the suppose message is hi, I am unsure, full stop. If you'll change the full stop also, the whole hash value can be changed. I can show you the demonstration of this also, but we need to see most interesting demonstration of attack, and we don't have that much time to see the demonstration of this also. But I'll recommend you one tool to explore, which is Crypto. If you're learning the cryptography in current semester, if you learned cryptography in the previous semester, or you're going to learn in cryptography in the upcoming semester, I recommend you this tool in order to implement all the concept of cryptography in the real world. Okay, even you can calculate the hash value, you can use all the encryption algorithm you've learned in the cryptography, you can calculate the digital signature, you can calculate the digital certificate also. Whatever you've learned in the cryptography, you can implement over there in crypto. Okay, it's a very most recommended tool from my side in order to understand the CIA triad and AAA in detail. Okay, now let's jump to the third concept of CIA triad, which is availability. Now, what is availability? So, as per the naming convention, as you can see over there, availability means it should be available. Something should be available. Now we are talking about the IT system. So, what? Yeah, sir. Yeah, yeah, sir. Okay. Now it is visible. Previously, so it was visible or not, sir? Okay. 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 Thank you so much. So, guys, don't play with these things. Okay. Hello. Huh? Who is this? Screen is not visible. Now? Yeah. Okay. Okay, okay. Guys, I request you to please use the chat box option. Don't unmute yourself. If you have any query also, if it is you are getting some interaction also, please use the chat box section. Feel free to use chat box section. We'll try to see every chat as much as possible. Coordinators are also there. They will see the chat. But I'll request you don't use the voice option over there. So let's move further and understand the concept of availability. Now, what is availability? As per the naming convention, the particular thing should be available to a user. But if we talk about the technicality of availability, that means resources or services should be available to the legitimate user. I'll repeat it, to the legitimate user, not to everyone, not to anybody else, to the legitimate user who has the credential for that particular service, who have subscribed for that particular service, only should available that particular can avail that particular service 24 by 7 or as per the service level agreement. In the book or in the online, if you google this definition of availability also, you will find out the single line definition, which is the resources should be available to the legitimate user 24 by 7. But I have changed this as per my experience to a slight bit, which is the resources should be available to the intended or legitimate user 24 by 7 or as per the service level agreement. Why I've added service level agreement? Because it may be possible that some particular website promising their user for 10-hour services. So that particular resource will not be available for the 24 by 7. So we cannot say that it is a breach in availability. It is written in their service level agreement that they will provide that particular service for 10 hours only. Okay, that's why as per my experience in the industry also, I've added the in like one term in the particular definition. It changed whole meaning of that particular definition. So now always try to use this particular definition in front of everyone. That availability means the resources should be available to the legitimate user 24/7 or as per the service level agreement. Now, how we can breach the availability? For breaching the availability, you can use DOS attack, denial of service attack. We are going to see the demonstration of DOS attack in this particular session also. Okay, so let's move further. Okay, now what is AAA? So after learning the CIA, the second principle of security is AAA, which is authentication, authorization, and accountability. Basically, we'll quickly wrap this up. So authentication basically means ensuring that the user is legitimate. How you'll ensure that user is legitimate? using credential, using the login ID and password. One more thing I want to mention over here, if you are in the pre-final year or if you are preparing for a particular interview or something, be keep in your mind, if you are in the first year also, keep in your mind, always try to use the technical terms over there. Don't use ID password, always try to say credentials, which obviously means ID and password, but technical term will make you different from the other people. Okay, we are the engineering student, okay, we are the technical student basically, so we need to use the meaningful term. Okay, so now authentication basically means to ensure a particular user is legitimate. How you will ensure, I already told you, using the credential means using the user ID and password. If user ID and password is correct, that means it is an authenticated user and authentication process is completed. Now second thing comes into the AAA is authorization. Now if it is authenticated user, now it is a legitimate user, he has the login ID and password. What kind of privileges that particular user has, if you are ensuring that, that is comes into the category of authorization. Suppose you are a student, suppose ITM is having a ERP system. You are logged in as a user, okay, and Vaibhav sir or Rasika ma'am have logged in as obviously as a faculty, and somebody is logged in as a administrator. So obviously all the three users are going to have a different rights. Suppose you are going to see the attendance, you can see the attendance, and on the other hand Vaibhav sir and Rasika ma'am can mark the attendance, and suppose as the administrator can delete the attendance also. So everybody is having different privileges, different rights on that particular platform. Other obviously all three categories are authorized user, authenticated user, sorry, but all three have different rights, different privileges. So that will be ensured by authorization. So this is the very important concept of cyber security. Now we'll move to the third category of AAA, which is accountability. Now whatever action take place in your network, whatever action take place in your IT system should be accountable. Okay, you need to maintain you need to maintain log of each and everything present on your system. Whatever happening to your system, whatever the incoming and outgoing traffic of your system, whatever the login and logout activity is happening on your system, means whatever activity is happening on your system or on your network will be kept as a log in case of accountability. Apart from this, accountability means keeping the track of usage. Usage also comes under the category of accountability. If suppose some organizations have implemented a user ID, password, and credential for accessing the internet in their organization. Now, why exactly they provided that? In order to make the log file logging also, what are the things you are using by that particular ID, and how much data you use in a month, how much data you consume in a particular week or particular day will be tracked by that particular software where you have entered your credential, login ID and password. So these all comes under the category of accountability. So now let me tell you, we have seen the CIA, confidentiality, integrity and availability, and the AAA also. Why we are now, it may comes in your mind that why we are studying these things, why we are studying confidentiality, integrity and availability, and why we are studying authentication, authorization and availability, accountability, sorry. So let me tell you one thing, everything you are going to learn in your cybersecurity journey will fall into this category one way or another way. You are going to see this particular three things. I ensure you that obviously whatever subject you are going to learn, is it about ethical hacking, it's about cyber forensic, it's about pen testing, whatever thing you are going to cover, it may revolve around the confidentiality, integrity and availability of the data. That's why I've called it as a pillar of the cybersecurity. Also, it is not exaggerated term. It is actually a pillar of cybersecurity, which is CIA. If you are pursuing your cybersecurity certification, also like Comtech Security Plus, CIA will be the first thing you are going to see over there. So it is my recommendation to you to use to go through by the confidentiality, integrity, availability in detail. And if you have any doubt, you can reach to Vaibhav sir. You can generate your query to Vaibhav sir. He'll contact me, and I will be happy to help you in this particular concern. Okay. Now let's move further. That is security mechanism. So I hope you are going to learn this particular thing also in your information security syllabus, security mechanism. It is Express 800 standard by IEEE organization, which is going to cover somehow confidentiality, integrity, availability, means CIA, as well as the AAA in a particular manner, in a particular mechanical means mechanisms, in the form of mechanism. But before going to this particular thing, let's see what we are going to cover in our today's attack scenario. Okay. let's see that particular thing first. So we are going to cover phishing, SQL injection, DOS, and malware. So I hope you've heard about phishing, SQLi, DOS, or malware. Please use the chat box and reply as soon as as early as possible, immediately. Have you heard about DOS attack? Okay, Parth, Meet, Yash, Om, great, 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 great. I'm really happy to see this particular thing. So, can anyone tell me, have you implemented all these attacks practically? Have you tried your hands on this particular attacks? Sayyed is saying no. Jeet is saying yes, no, no. Dipen is saying yes. So, okay, somewhat. Okay, okay, okay. Garg Paras, okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we are going to see these things. If you have done this particular thing, it's completely fine. If you haven't done this thing, I'm there for you. Okay. So we are going to cover all these three attacks, all these four attacks today in phishing, SQLi, DOS, and malware. Malware if time permits because it's gonna take some time. Okay. So let's understand the security mechanism quickly and jump to the interesting part of this particular session. Let's learn some attacks, how we can perform these particular attacks. But I'll set some ground rules before starting the attacks. Okay. So let's cover the security mechanisms first, and then we'll move further. So first of all, what is there are two categories of security mechanism. First is specific security mechanism, and second thing is passive security mechanism. Let me take my pointer. Okay. So first thing we are going to cover the security specific security mechanism. The first thing is encipherment. Encipherment basically means confidentiality, means encryption. We ensure the confidentiality by using the encipherment only. Now, what is digital signature? We can go deep in all these categories, but we are going to touch this particular thing because we need to move to the attacking part in today's session. Okay. So, what is digital signature? Basically, digital signature are used to maintain the non-repudiation. That means sender cannot deny that he or she sent that particular message. Okay. Then access control. Access control means you are ensuring the authorization. Access control means you are going to define what particular right a particular user is going to have. Okay. Then data integrity. We have discussed about the integrity in the previous slides. Now authentication exchange, basically authentication Kerberos comes into the category of authentication exchange, how you are establishing the authentication and how you are exchanging the credential from client to servers comes under this particular security mechanism. Now traffic padding, in order to prevent the breach in confidentiality, we can do the traffic padding also. What we can do, it's very interesting topic. What we can do, we can pad a random bit in a traffic so that a hacker get confused at what particular thing you are sending. Okay. Now the next thing is routing control security mechanism. So it will be implemented on a router, on a routing table and router. The next thing is notarization. Notarization basically also used to maintain the non-repudiation. A sender cannot deny that he or she particular sent a particular message. Now we'll see the passive security mechanism. In this particular thing, we can cover the trusted functionality. Means all these passive mechanisms are theoretical based. Okay, the trusted functionality means everything should be confidential. You can design some policies. You can design some prevention mechanism in organization. Security labels. You can give a security label to your organization. Support your label will be student, your staff's label will be faculty, administrator, account manager, something like that. You'll provide each and everyone a label. Then you can use the event detection part. Event detection basically means event monitoring. This is a really very important security mechanism. A particular session, or I hope you heard about the SIM tools, which is security incident and event management tool, which are used to detect the event. Whatever the event is happening in your network or in your IT system will be detected by those type of tools or firmwares available in the market. The next thing is security audit trial. So security audit trial is a part of accountability basically. Okay, security audit trial means whatever thing you have done, whatever log file you have kept with you or with the network administrator, you are going to audit that particular thing in order to maintain a firm security in your organization. Now the next thing is security recovery. If something happens in your organization, one rule is over there that business comes first, technology comes last. Why this particular thing is over there? Because obviously they need to pay your salary, they need to keep their organization running. That's why it is important, if any particular attack happen over there also, you need to recover it from that particular attack on immediate basis, and you need to get started with the business should not be hampered whatever the situation over there is. Okay, so these are some security mechanism we can discuss. Even this particular thing, especially CIA and AAA, we can have number of lecture on that particular thing only, because these are very vast field, guys, and it can go up to 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, doesn't matter. Okay, if you want to learn all these things, CIA in detail, how we can implement this practically, you can explore these things. I'll share some resources with Vadodra and Rashika ma'am also, uh, in order to learn these, how you can learn all these things practically, and how you can implement it into the real world also. Now let's move on to the interesting part of this particular session, which is phishing, SQL injection attack, DOS attack, and malware. Okay. Now, what is the ground rule? As I have told you already, we are going to establish some ground rule before going further. First of all, this is for educational purposes only. Okay, use all these things wisely and for educational purposes only. Second thing, we are going to have a demonstration on the testing websites only, because I don't want to hamper a particular website. Okay, or don't want to elaborate or explore the bug on the running before reporting it to them. Okay, so what we are going to see in the phishing. So as you told me, you heard about this term, right? You have heard about the phishing, you have heard about the SQLI, you have heard about the DOS and malware. So what does phishing actually means? Can anyone tell me in the chat box what phishing actually means quickly? What phishing actually means? Jeet, Viraj, Farooq, you have heard about it, right? Credential info are stolen. Good myth. ठीक है? Credential info are stolen. Right, absolutely right. Apart from this, anyone want to give the inputs, or should we start with the demonstration? Okay, then we'll start with the demonstration. Let me open my Kali Linux machine. Now, this is my favorite part, obviously, because here I am going to use the Kali Linux machine. So I'll recommend this particular thing also to you, Kali Linux machine. You can install it on the virtual box also. You can install it on any VMware, means virtual machine, or you can install as a second bootloader in your operating system also. But if you want to learn security, forensics, and ethical hacking, Kali Linux is must. You need to understand, you need to learn Kali Linux in order to learn the cyber security, in order to learn the ethical hacking or pen testing or cyber forensic. Everything is present in the Kali Linux. Every utility can be run over the Kali Linux, and most of the utilities are pre-installed. If you have heard about it, or if you have used Kali Linux already, I'm sure that you have explored so many utilities present over there. The same type of social engineering attack. Yeah, Roshan, right. Paras is saying it is trial on or attempt to obtain sensitive information. Okay. Phishing means that stealing the data of user by fooling him or her. Okay, 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 fine, fine, fine. So first of all, absolutely right, Rushabh, Paras, everybody. Okay, so phishing basically means, phishing is a social engineering attack, obviously. Okay, it's a social engineering attack, no doubt in that. What we can do with the phishing, basically we can clone a particular website. First of all, we can clone a particular website, a legitimate website. Suppose any website like a Flipkart.com or Google.com, whatever the website where user can enter their credential. Okay, basically phishing is the attack on their credential only, means their user ID and password only. So anything, any website, any legitimate website, you are going to clone first. After cloning that particular website, what you are going to do, you are going to send that particular cloned link or phished link to a victim. Okay, you're going to send that particular link to the victim. Whenever he'll enter username and password on that particular link, it will be caught by your phishing code, and it will be get back to you, and it will be, the user will be redirected to the legitimate website, which is suppose google.com. Okay, now what, how we can do this thing, how we can perform this particular thing. Now one more thing before starting with the demonstration, how we can send link to victim. Now this is where social engineering attack take place. Social engineering basically take place. Now you can send the link via message also. You can send the link via mail also. You can send the link right now using the WhatsApp or any other social media platform also, Facebook Messenger, so whatever platform you are going to use. But you need to convince your victim that he or she need to click on that particular link anyhow. I hope you've got some one day or another day you got a mail saying that your account is blocked and you need to click on this particular link in order to re-register your account. Or suppose you won the lottery of $10,000, you need to log in with your Google account over there, something like that. So your message, whatever message you are sending to the victim, it should looks like a genuine thing, and it should be convincible for that particular victim that he or she should click on that particular message anyhow. Okay, that's the main thing about the phishing which you need to do. Anyhow, we are going to clone the website easily. Anyhow, we are going to get the username and password, and we can redirect it to the legitimate website. But what is the difficult part is to convince your victim to click on that particular link. Okay, so this is much of the talk. Let's get started with the attack. Okay, so I'll open my terminal. As if you're familiar with the Kali Linux, so you know what terminal means. Basically, it's like a command prompt in your Windows. In Kali Linux, we call it as a terminal, or any Linux flavor, we call it as a terminal. So for phishing, we are going to use the SE toolkit. So I'm going to use the SE toolkit for this particular demonstration. SE toolkit comes as a pre-installed utility in your Kali Linux machine. Right now, I'm using 2020.2a version of Kali Linux machine. You can use any version from 2019 or 2020A. Okay. So as you can see over here, this is the social engineering toolkit. Okay. In the social engineering toolkit, we are going to use the first particular thing as we have seen that phishing is a social engineering attack. So I'll click on the first option. I'll choose the first option from the menu of social engineering toolkit, which is social engineering attack. Let's click on enter and let's see what are the options we got right now. Spear phishing attack, website attack, vectors, infectious media generator, and etc. All the social engineering kind of attack can be done using the social engineering toolkit. Okay. Now, right now we want to do the phishing. We want to get the credential, means their user ID password. So we are going to use second option, which is website attack vector. So I'll just click on enter. Now you need to select a particular attack, which exactly attack you want to perform. So right now we are going to choose the credential harvester attack. We need to harvest their credentials. So I'm going to use the third option for this particular thing. Now, guys, you have three options over here. You can use the predefined web templates by SE Toolkit also. You can use the site cloner in order to clone the legitimate website. Whatever website you want to clone, you can use the site cloner for that also. And you can use custom import, means if you have designed the particular clone, if you cloned externally, or if you have designed a particular web page by yourself, or you have saved a legitimate website in your desktop, you can import that particular web page also in order to perform the phishing attack. Right now I'm going to use the website template, which is pre-installed in predefined in the SE toolkit. So I'm going to choose one. Now we need to define the IP address for the post back, means where we want to get the ID and password, where we want to get the credential. So by default it has selected my IP address, so I'm just going to click enter. Now we need to select which particular template we want to use. Right now here three templates are over there present: Java required, Google, and Twitter. So I'm going to use Google's, Gmail's template right now. So it's get started. So now let's move to our Mozilla Firefox and let's see how it is working or not. So I'm going to click on localhost because it is running on my particular desktop. That's why we are using localhost. If you want to change this particular thing, if you want to convert it into a particular domain or particular IP address, you can go into the setting of SE toolkit and you can do that. Okay. Now I hope you have seen this particular web page multiple times in your system. Whenever you go to the Google's login page, means Gmail's login page, you see this particular thing. It is exactly same as the Gmail's legitimate page. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to enter credentials, Anshul at the rate Anshul at the rate Anshul, suppose, and password is this. I'll click on the sign in button. As you can see, it has redirected us to the Google's legitimate page, We haven't logged into the Gmail obviously, but what happened? What exactly happened then? So we'll go to the our terminal, and as you can see over here, we got the email which we have entered, which is Anshul at the Anshul, and the password was 12345 Anshul, right? So we have enumerated, we have harvested the credentials, means username and password, using the AC toolkits very easily and very quickly. Easy, right? It is easy, no? There is no rocket science. If you want to learn anything, it is available over there. So it's very easy to, it's a very easy option how you can perform social engineering attacks, phishing attack specifically. Okay. So now what happened over here? It has redirected our user to the legitimate page of Google. Now what user will consider that something wrong has happened, so he'll log into the Gmail again. He'll click on the Gmail and he'll log into the Gmail page again. But what we got is their user ID and password. Now we can use this particular thing in order to hamper their confidentiality, integrity, and availability, all these things. By using this particular credential, we can hamper their confidentiality, because now we can see their messages. We can send the messages on behalf of them, so we can freeze the integrity also, and we can pull their inbox by sending the spam messages to their particular drive or whatever there. So we can freeze the availability also. So I hope you've got how we can perform this particular thing. I'll click on the return button and I'll exit SA toolkit and I'll clear this out. So this is the demonstration of your first attack, which is phishing attack. Okay. If you want, I'll send you or to Webo sir or Asika ma'am the manual how we can perform this phishing attack. Okay. Specifically, we have used the SE toolkit, right? Remember the name of the tool, which is SE toolkit. This is going to help you a lot in all kind of social engineering attack, guys. Believe me, it's a wonderful tool. It is a wonderful utility which is pre-installed in the Linux machine, in the Kali Linux machine specifically. If it is not pre-installed on the Kali Linux machine, you can get it from the GitHub also. I'll show you that also. Just go to the Google and search for SE toolkit GitHub. If it is not pre-installed on the system, so you can get it from GitHub also. You can install it from the GitHub also. Okay. So this is the demonstration of AC toolkit, means a phishing attack, how you can perform the phishing attack. Now let's move to the another demonstration, another particular attack, which was that SQL injection. So now what is SQL injection? Have you heard about the SQL injection? I hope you have heard about it. You told me in the beginning, right? But before exploring the SQL injection, let's quickly understand what exactly SQL injection means. So I hope it is visible to you. Can you see all this thing, or it is very small? I'll just choose a font, more large font. I hope it is visible to you. Okay, now let's see what SQL injection basically means. I hope you have gone through by the concept of database, means what SQL actually means. That is needed to understand the SQL injection attack. Okay, so basically, what is database? Can anyone tell me in the chat box what is database? SQL as web hacking technique. Depend not exactly web hacking technique, but somehow fine. Attacker supplies untrusted inputs to a program. Okay, Rishabh. Fine. Okay, no issues. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Rishabh and Dipen and Dhruv for responding quickly. Parth is also responded. Information of client data like name, password, emails. Great, Parth. Thank you so much, guys, for replying. Now we'll see what SQL injection basically means. So, first of all, let's understand what is database. Database is basically organizing your data in a particular structure, most importantly or most commonly in the form of table, in the form of rows and columns, that is known as database. What is SQL now? Now, if you want to perform any operation on that particular database, you're going to use it. You're going to do that particular thing by SQL. SQL is a structured query language. I hope you have learned about it in the DBMS subject, or you're going to learn it in the upcoming semesters. I don't know what is the case with you, but it's fine. So a structured query language, you are going, there are two basically categories of SQL, which is DDL and DML. DDL, as per the naming convention, is data definition language. If you are defining the data, means if you are creating the database, you are dropping the database, you are altering the database, means you are not performing any operation on that particular database. You are creating it, you are defining it. That means you are in the DDL kind of SQL. Now, if you are performing a particular operation on your data into that particular database, which you have created using the data definition language, now that is known as data manipulation language, means DML. Suppose you are performing a select query. Select, you want to fetch a particular record from a table. You want to insert a particular record in the table. You want to update a particular record in the table. You are going to use this particular tool. Now, before going further or starting the SQL injection attack, let's understand how these things actually work, or what is the logic behind a normal SQL query. Okay, suppose just consider a general scenario of a login. Okay, if you are at the Facebook or Gmail or whatever over there, if you are at the login page of any particular web application, I'm just giving you an example. It's not like it's the exact code of the login page. So what happened in the background, basically it's gonna generate select star from, suppose table name is user, select star from user, where uname uname is equals to Anshul and password is equals to 123, password is equals to 12345. Okay, so if a username Anshul and password 12345 is present in the user table, then select all the data from that particular table. This is the basic query. Okay, if username Anshul is present over there and password is 1234 matches with the record in the database under the table user, that means it is a legitimate user, right? So now I don't want to insert this particular thing, or I don't want to fire this particular query as a legitimate user, obviously, because I don't know the credential of legitimate user. Now if I want to access the database, or I want to grab the database, I want to enumerate the database without any authentication and authorization, that is SQL injection. If you want to perform this query which we performed right now, if you perform this particular query without having the credential, or without having the knowledge of actual credential, or you want to enumerate the data without any authentication or authorization, that means you are performing the SQL injection attack, most commonly known as SQLI. Okay, so what happened when we use the SQLI? You can perform SQLI in two ways. You can perform SQLI in basically two ways. First way will be manual, and the second way will be automated. Okay, we are going to see the automated tool because manual is obviously so easy. Okay, what we have seen in the previous query, we have used select star from a particular table where uname is equals to whatever it is and password is equals to whatever it is. Now if I want to perform the manual SQL attack, what I can do, I can supply one thing, or 1 is equals to 1. This is the most common type of SQL injection attack. What it means, 1 equals to 1 basically means it's gonna page the first user, whatever the first user present in that particular table. Okay, mostly in most of the database, in most of the cases, I found that first user is admin user. We got the credential of admin user by this particular thing, because in most of the cases the first user will be the admin user, because whoever they created the database will store their credential first of all. But it's not a particular thing, it's not written anywhere on any portal, but mostly you'll get the admin details by this admin rights or admin login by this particular query. Okay, but we are not going to see the manual thing because it's so outdated. Okay, most of the website are now configured their website in a way that this particular thing will not work on that particular website. Okay, by default they have generated the vaccine for this particular thing. Okay, it is not cured disease right now. So we are going to use the automated tool, which is SQL map. Okay, we are going to use the SQL map for SQL injection attack. Okay, what is SQL injection attack? Let's get it quickly. How means SQL map going to work? Basically, SQL map is going to send a request from the attacker, means from my machine, to the SQL database in order to exploit that particular database. That particular application, means SQL map, will build a string with that particular exploited database and send a query to that particular database in order to extract the data of that database. After that, the query will be executed on the server side and will return with the particular data which we want to see or which we want to look at. So what this particular thing is known as, it is known as enum, or most commonly known as enumeration. Now what enumeration basically means, as I've already told you in the beginning, try to use the technical terms, not only the normal terms. Okay, so enumeration basically means exploring the things which are not present over the surface. Obviously, if you are visiting a particular website, the database is not present on the surface. If you are exploring whatever is not present over the surface, is known as enumeration. And right now we are going to enumerate the database of the website, and that is known as SQL map. So this is so much of talk, and we have seen the basic concept of SQL injection attack. Now let's get started and see some demonstration. So again, before starting with any attack, I'll recommend you, if you are new to the Kali Linux or you are new to this particular utility or any utility, always try to explore the help section of every utility, whatever you are going to use. So for help section, you can use SQL map, means tool name, utility name, space, hyphen hyphen help, or hyphen h is also fine. Okay, so you can see over here, from here we can get each and everything. Basically what we are interested in is enumeration. Okay, what we want to see is enumeration. We want to see the password, tables, columns, mean data of the particular database. Now, so we are going to do the enumeration. So let's move to this particular thing. And as you can see over here, if you want to enumerate the column, you can use the hyphen hyphen column. If you want to enumerate the table, you can use hyphen hyphen tables, etc., etc., etc. If you want to enumerate the password, you can directly use the hyphen hyphen password thing. So this is the help section. I'm already familiar with the tool, so I'm going to clear this out, but it is recommended to you to explore the help section in thorough detail. So now, first of all, before starting with the SQL map, obviously we need to set a target. Obviously, na. So for target, I mean, what we need to do, for what we are going to do right now, we are going to search for vulnerweb. Okay, this is the vulnerweb.com. It is a testing website which is provided by the Acunetics, which is the very well known. What happened to the connection? Was it set? Try again. Yeah, right. So Acunetics, which is the web vulnerability scanner. So why we are using this particular thing, I have already told you, I don't want to exploit any vulnerability in the live session before reporting it to the particular website owner. Okay, and it is always recommended while you are learning to use the testing websites only. So in this particular session, we are going to use, as you can see over here, 4 testing websites are provided by Acunetics. We are going to use testphpvulnerab.com. Okay, so this is the website which we are going to on which we are going to perform our SQL injection attack. So now what we need in order to perform the SQL injection attack using the SQL map, we need an ID. Okay, so for the ID thing, always it is recommended, whatever attack you are performing, just try to explore the surface first, then enumerate whatever is not present over the surface. So we will move a cursor over here to artist. Okay, what happened? Something wrong is over there. Your profile. Okay. We got to the artist page, and let's click on any ID, and we got the ID which is needed in order to perform the SQL injection attack. The ID is most needed thing. So I've copied this particular thing as our target, and what we'll do, we'll start with the SQL map. The first thing, SQL map -u. -u is for URL. I'll paste my URL, which is this, and I'll use the dbs command -dbs, because first of all we want to see what particular database is present on that particular website server. I'll click on enter, and it's going to enumerate. As you can see over here, it is enumerated really fast, and it is MySQL database is present over there, and something connection reset to target URL. Okay, something wrong has happened. Doesn't matter. We'll try it again. I think something is missing in the URL. I'll just just a second, it happens, doesn't matter, no worries. Fine. Test PHP, SQL map, you, iPhone DBS again. What is this proxy? Is it is ignoring the proxy? Something is wrong has happened over there. Just a second, guys. Okay, the website is lagging around. The website is lagging around. That's why our connection is getting restarted again and again. That's why it is the website testing website is lagging right now. No worries, we'll try it out again. Skill map hyphen u hyphen dbs. As you can see, we got the details. That particular web page was lagging. That's why. Okay, see, so we got the details, means we got the database name, which is AQArt in this particular website. What actually happened? First of all, it detected the database. So MySQL database was present on that particular server. In that particular server, he has fired some queries, just like we have seen in the previous demo, just like that. Select null space content, whatever it is. So we got the name of the database. The database name is AQArt, and another thing is information schema. We are not interested in the information schema. So now what we'll do, we'll keep our target as it is, and now we know our database. So what we'll do, we'll use hyphen capital D in order to name, in order to specify our name, which is AQArt, database name, which is AQArt. Now what we need to see, we need to explore the columns, sorry, tables present in this particular database. So we'll use hyphen tables command in order to enumerate the tables present in this particular thing. Again, it's something wrong with this particular website today, huh? It's fine. So now, as you can see over here, we got the table name. 8 tables are present in this particular database. The table names are artist, cards, catag, features, and obviously we are interested in this particular thing, right? We want to see the username and password. Yeah, B blank. Okay. So now we know the table name. So what we are going to use hyphen T, and we are going to specify the table name, which is users. And what we need to see in this particular table, we want to see the column names present in this particular table. So I'm going to use the columns command. Okay. Now as you can see over here, we got the response very quickly, and it enumerated the table, and we got the 8 columns present in this particular table: name, address, card, CC, email, password, phone, and username. Do you want to enumerate? Do you want me to enumerate more? You want to see the user ID and password? Obviously, that's why we are here. So what we'll do, we'll keep as it is, everything as it is, and I'm going to use hyphen C in order to specify the column. So suppose we want to know the email, comma, password, comma, uname, and we want to store it in a particular uname. We want to store it in a particular file, so we are going to have an happen dump. So guys, as you can see over here, we got the password, we got the username, and the email is youtube@gmail.com, and it is by default saved as we have used the dump command. So it has dumped it, means it has saved our particular data, whatever we have got, whatever we have enumerated from that particular website, in the file user.csv, means table name.csv. Okay, you can find out in the root user also. The path is specified over here. You can find that particular thing. Only one data is present, only one data was present on that particular website, because that was a testing website. So we got one data out of it. But if it is a very large database, if it is a huge database, we cannot analyze that particular database on the terminal itself. We are going to use the users, means we are going to use the CSV file over here. So let's try this particular thing, it is working or not. So let's go to the website, and I'm going to go to the actual website again from the artist to test PHP. Sorry, today it is lagging. I don't know why, but it's fine. No worries. Need to try again. One web, fine. We can use this credential on the actual website also. Okay, the password is test, and username is also test. Is it open or not? Is making today? No worries, you can check this particular thing. It will be obviously it will be right because we have enumerated it from the database table, which is a QR from the legitimate website. So I hope you've got the concept how we can perform the SQL injection attack. I'm going to clear this particular thing. If you want, just let Webo sir know you want a manual of this particular thing. I'll provide you the manual of this particular thing. Everything, whatever we are discussing, I can provide you the links to learn all these things in detail. I can provide you the manual also, but only if you are interested. No pressure. Okay, I don't want to pressure anyone else. So let's close this particular thing and let's move to our next demonstration, which was DOS attack. So again, as we have till then, just quick interaction in the chat box. Have you got the details? Have you got the concept of SQL injection as well as phishing? Quickly reply in the chat box so we can move further. Are you with me? Are you getting these things or not? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay, great. Thank you so much. Denial of service attack is an attack. Good, Rishabh. Before asking question, you have given me the answer. Denial of service attack is meant to shut down a machine or network. Okay, it's fine. Good. Shut down a machine or network or website, making it inaccessible to its intended user. Okay. I must say, Webu sir, your students are really very fast. I'm really happy to see this particular thing. Hang in. Okay. So now, you're right, Rushabh, end part. Okay, good. It's not exactly just to shut down a particular machine or network, but yes, it is used for that particular thing also. But anything, if you want to perform a DOS attack on a mail server, you can do that also. Even the most basic example of DOS attack is the mail server only. Suppose you are using the Gmail client, and obviously you know it provided you the 15 GB free space. Okay. Now, if I'll send you the spam messages, so many spam messages that your free space is utilized, and as you know that spam, you will not get any notification for the spam messages. You don't get any notification for spam messages. So if you're not getting a notification for the spam messages, you will not get to know that anything happened on my system, and your Gmail server will deny any new mail to your Gmail client. That is also a kind of a DOS attack. Okay, so but it's fine, Rishabh and Parth. Good, I'm happy to see that. So let's move to the DOS attack. DOS attack basically means denial of service attack. Okay, DOS attack basically means denial of service attack, and there are two ways to perform. There are two categories of DOS attack: DOS and DDoS. Okay, DOS and DDoS. DDoS means distributed denial of service attack. Okay. Now, how we are going to perform the DOS attack? Basically, we are going to perform the DOS attack. We can perform the DOS attack by multiple ways. We can use the hping3 tool also. Okay, and we can perform it using the ping command also. Even the first DOS attack performed on the Yahoo.com was performed using the ping command itself. Okay, in I guess 2003 or 4. Okay, but right now obviously they have every website has developed that particular bandwidth that it will not be hampered by the ping command obviously, but it will be hampered by hping3, the utility which is used to perform the DOS attack. But today we are going to use the pent menu tool. Okay, note down the tool name, which is pent menu. You can get it from the GitHub. Obviously, every utility is present. Whatever utility I am using is already present on the GitHub, obviously for free of cost. All the utilities for Linux is present on the GitHub for free of cost. Obviously, it's open source. So what we are going to use, what tool we are going to use is pent menu. So in the pent menu, what we are going to use, again we are going to perform it on the local host or a particular our own testing website. Okay, I have the testing website also, but right now we are going to perform it on the local host because we are running out of time. We need to see this demonstration. If you are performing this DOS attack on a real website, it's going to take so much time. It is possible. Obviously, it's completely depend upon the bandwidth of that particular website or the bandwidth of that particular resource. You can perform the DOS attack on a network also. You can perform the DOS attack on a website also, on a system, on individual machine also, on your router also. Whatever service you are getting, you can perform a denial of service attack on that. It's as simple as that. But for doing it quickly, we are going to do it on the local host. Okay. So for that we are going to use the pent menu tool, okay, which is automated tool. Obviously, using the pent menu you can do the reconnaissance also. what is reconnaissance. If you've heard about the ethical hacking, if you learn about the ethical hacking, I'm sure you heard about the reconnaissance also. It is the first phase of any ethical hacking or any hacking, obviously. Okay, we are going to use the pent menu. So let's move to the demonstration and see how DOS attack can be performed. So we are going to use the pent menu. So first of all, we need to move to the pent menu. But before going to that, let me start my Apache. Sorry, service Apache 2 start. What happened? So my Apache 2 start means my local server is started. I'll clear this out and we are going to move to the pent menu. Okay, so let me see where is the pent menu. It is over there. So I'm moving to the pent menu directory. Pent menu, clear. In the pent menu, you need to start the pent menu, but before that, let's ls. Three things are there: license, pent menu, and readme. We don't care about the readme. Pent menu, pent menu. Sorry, pent menu. So pent menu is started, and we have, as you can see over here, we have 5 options. Reconnaissance means recon, DOS, extraction, view readme. Obviously, we don't want to view readme. Why again and again it is showing us a readme. We don't want to see readme. Yeah. And the fifth thing is quit. Okay, but we don't want to quit also. So let's see the demonstration, which is for DOS attack. So I'm going to choose the DOS attack means option 2 over here. So in this particular thing, we have so many payloads, we have so many type of flooding which we can use. Basically, what is going to happen right now, we are going to perform flooding, means we are going to generate n number of requests in a fraction of seconds to a particular website so that its bandwidth will be completely utilized and it will be shut down for that particular thing while we are flooding that particular website. Sorry, spelling mistake. Okay, so we are going to use the flooding thing. There are n number of ways to perform the DOS attack, but what we are going to use is slow loris. Sorry. So I'm going to choose my option, which is slow loris. Okay, it is using the netcat. Now we need to enter the target. So before that, let's see our localhost is started or not. 127.0.1. It is started. Okay, so let's specify target. If you are performing it on a particular website, you can specify that website's IP address over here. So I am specifying my localhost IP address, which is this. By default, take port number is 80 if you're performing it on the HTTPS website. If it is secure website, you can specify the port number over here. But my port number is 80, obviously, because it's localhost. So I'm going to click enter. The 80 port number is chosen by default. Now the important thing is enter the number of connection to open. How many requests you want to send within a fraction of seconds. So I'm choosing this much of request. Now what is the time duration? What is the time interval you want to keep? So I'm keeping a 5-second time interval right now. You can keep as low as possible and as high as possible. It's completely up to you. Okay. So I don't want SSL or TLS because it's on my localhost. I'm going to click enter. It's launching, and as you can see over here, it's sending so many requests on Apache 2. Our localhost, as you can see, will refresh it. As you can see, it is not getting refreshed. Okay, and in some time it will be unreachable over here. It will get unreachable over here because it is sending a slow loris flood on this particular IP address within the fraction of 5 seconds, within the time interval of 5 seconds. As you can see over here, it is not updating. Let me just do one thing, just for the proof of concept. I'll eliminate this particular thing. Now let's refresh this particular thing just to prove my concept. As you can see over here, it is getting refreshed easily, means it is getting loaded easily. Now again, for the proof of concept, let's quickly do the DOS attack. Okay, 9th options, loris. We need to specify our target, which is 127.0.0.1. Port number is by default 80, and we are going to specify the number of connection. 5 seconds, no, and it is getting started. Okay, now we'll again try to refresh our website web page, and as you can see over here, it is not getting refreshed. As you can see, this particular thing, it is processing, waiting for 127.0.1, and sometime it will be unreachable in our tool also. It will be completely shut it down by our tool because we are sending the flood on a particular web page. Okay, as you can see, it is not refreshed till now. Okay, it is not refreshed till now because it will be not refreshed because we are flooding it. Its bandwidth is not that much strong. I'm just gonna cut it out and we'll refresh it again. And as you can see over here, it got refreshed easily. Okay, so this was the basic example or basic demonstration of denial of service attack. You can perform it on the real world website also, but keep in mind performing a DOS attack without their authorization or without enrolling yourself for any bug hunting program, it's strictly prohibited and it's criminal offense as per the IT Act. Obviously, it's not a right thing, it is non-ethical thing. Even if you are enrolled, if you have enrolled for the bug bounty program also, any pen testing program also, you'll get to know that DOS attack is strictly prohibited in a security manner. Okay, in a security field or any ethical hacking field. If you're performing it for the non-ethical purposes, obviously you'll not bother about the ethics or obviously, but it will be recommended to you to not use the DOS attack on any live website. So this is all about the DOS attack. Okay, now what we can do, this is phishing we have covered, SQL injection we have covered, DOS attack we have covered. Now do you want to see the malware attack? Do you want to see the malware attack? So quickly reply in the chat box. We have 10 minutes left only. Through Sony, yes. Rashika, thank you ma'am, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. I'll show you the DOS attack, malware attack quickly. But before that, can you tell me what is malware? What is malware? And which was the most popular malware which we have seen in the 2016? Can you name it quickly in the chat box? Have you heard about WannaCry? Have you heard about WannaCry? The drastic malware which has affected 150 countries all across the globe was WannaCry. That was a malware. Okay, so basically malware means malicious software. Okay, malware basically means malicious software means it will look like a legitimate tool, but it will be sandwiched by a malicious code. That's why it is known as malware. It looks like a legitimate tool, but actually it is a malicious tool. So what we are going to use for creating the malware, there are two methods or there are a number of methods, but most commonly there are again two methods. First one is manual method. For manual method, you can use Metasploit, okay, or MSF console, whatever. It's just like same MSF console. The second method is automated. You can use any automated tool in order to do this particular thing quickly. Okay, it's your choice obviously. You can do it manually also using the Metasploit in the Kali Linux, which is pre-installed utility, and you can use the automated tool. For automated tool, you need to install a tool which I am going to suggest you is Zirikatu. Okay, Zirikatu is also again freely available on the GitHub. Zirikatu. Today's demonstration, because we have only 10 minutes, we are going to use this automated tool Zirikatu only. Okay, for quickly demonstrate this particular thing. While we are using the Zirikatu, let me just start my Windows machine also on which we are going to perform the malware attack. Okay, just a second. I'll open my Windows machine also in the virtual box so that we can easily perform our attack on the Windows machine. Okay. This is a Windows machine. So it is starting. Till then, let's see how we can use the Zirikatu. Okay, so we are going to use the Zirikatu. Again, I'm going to use the ls command. And as you can see over here, where is Zirikatu? Is it present in the desktop? Yes, it is present. So again, just like same, we need to move to the directory, which is Zirikatu, and same thing to execute this particular file also, zirikatu.sh. So this is the tool which is fully undetectable Metasploit payload generator. All the payloads will be generated, but all the Metasploit payload can be generated by this particular tool. Hello. Fine. So now all the payloads can be generated using this particular tool automatically. Now as you can see over here, what we can see is first thing is what kind of payload you want to use. Okay, what kind of payload you want to use. So I'm going to use Meterpreter reverse TCP. If you're using or if you're surfing on YouTube also, or any, or if you surf on the Google also, how we can create our own malware, you'll get this particular option only. If you're using the manual method also, you're going to use the Meterpreter reverse underscore TCP only. So that's why I'm using the Meterpreter reverse TCP. We need to set our local host. So for knowing our local host, let's open terminal and see what is the IP address of our local host, means our machine from where we want to get the details of the suspect machine. So as you can know, we can use if config command in order to know the IP configuration in Linux. So this is my IP address. I'm going to use this IP address over here, 2.168.0.5 or 105. Sorry, 10105. Let me just confirm this particular thing. 192.162.0.105. That's fine. Let's open. Use the port number 444, means 4444, because it's always free. It is always free. Do you want to change the payload icon? No, I don't want to change this particular thing. You can modify it as per your requirements. Completely up to you. Display an error message. Yes, I want to display an error message. Obviously, what error message you want to display? I want to display I am watching you. What the error message? Again, I want to say same thing. I am watching you. Okay. So enter the file and same thing. What do you want to name the file? Suppose open it. Open it. Open me. Suppose open me. So as you can see over here, it is creating our payload, which we need to say, which we need to send to the victim machine or victim user. How you can send that particular thing? How you can send this exe file or is this malware to the victim, or means whatever you target on your target. You can use any social engineering attack mechanisms. You can send it over via mail also. You can send it by pen drive also. If attacker is known to you, you can give him using the pen drive also. It's completely your choice how you want to spread this particular thing, how you want to circulate, how you want to spread this particular malware in your network or in your victim's machine. Okay, so it is creating. It's going to take few seconds for this particular thing. Till then, let's see our Windows machine is started or not. Our Windows machine is successfully started. And for today's demonstration, because it takes a lot of time to transmit one file to another file in virtual machine, what we are going to do, we are going to use a malware which is pre-created by me and sent it in this particular Windows. I'll show you in the Linux also how it looks like. So as you can see over here in the Linux machine, we got the message that file is created, means payload file is created under the root Zerica2. Let's see that particular file if it is there or not, just for the proof of concept. Okay, so let's see it is present over there or not. The file name is openme.exe. So I go in the folder Zerica2. Where is it? Can you look at this particular folder? This is the folder in the Zerica2 output, and we have openme.exe file. Now what you can do, you can perform any social engineering mechanism, or you can, if it is known to you, you can mail him also. Also obviously you can send in it using the pen drive also, or you have the option of WeTransfer, etc., etc. So I have already transmitted a previous payload which I have created in the Windows machine. As you can see over here, is demo.exe. Now what I need to do, I'll click. It is showing me a message. Do you want to start the payload handler? Yes, obviously I want to start the payload handler. I click on the yes, and as you can see over here, Metasploit will be started over here. Once a Metasploit is started over here, as you can see here, starting the Metasploit framework console, the wonderful thing to learn if you want to learn the security. Now, most important thing, one thing I want to also tell you that Metasploit is started. One thing also is there that why we are doing all this attack is if you want to learn the security, how to secure the world, you need to see how attacker can attack that particular, how attacker then particular attack in that particular system, how attacker can gain access to a system. If you know that particular thing, you can easily catch them. So as you can see over here, I'm going to click enter on this particular thing, which is over here, malware. So you can see it is getting executed, my demo.exe, which is a malware basically. it's gonna show me a message which I have written while creating it. So once it will show me the message, I am good to go. I will be good to go. Okay, now once it will show us the message, we'll get the access of this particular Windows machine. Means we can remotely access this particular Windows machine from our Kali Linux machine, means from our attacker machine. As you can see over here, the title is it's the demo, and I am watching use the message. I click on the OK button, and you will see the changes in the Linux machine. As you can see, it has opened a session in the Windows machine, which is 192.168.0.104. Now let's see how many sessions are present over here. So I click on session. Sorry, again I need to establish. Again I need to click that. Just a second. Okay. Again we'll come here and I'll type sessions. Okay, as you can see over here, two sessions are created because previously one session was created earlier. Two sessions are created, session 1 and session 2. As you can see over here, our Windows machine, we have enumerated our Windows machine. Okay, the IP address is specified over here. Now what we need to do, what we want to do with this particular machine. So let's do some cool stuff. Sessions -I. Let's see, let's open the first station, and as you can see over, we have switched to session 1. Now what exactly we want to do, I'll use the shell command in order to get the access of our Windows machine. So we have used the shell command. As you can see over here, we are on the desktop of Windows machine. We are on the desktop of Windows machine. Now as you can see over here, these many files are present in the desktop machine of Windows 7. So let's see, can we see over here? So let's see, let's enter directory dir. So as you can see over here, demo.exe is present over there, eula.lnk is present over there, hello is there, I am here is there. Now it is from Windows machine. We got this detail, we got the files from Windows machine. When it is created, is it a directory or it is a file, whatever it is, 2 files, 4 directories. We have got the details of all the Windows machine. Now let's see, can we create anything? So I'll create make directory mkdir unshul. Okay, so directory is created on Windows machine. As you can see over here, unshul directory is created on Windows machine from my Kali Linux machine. So means I have access of Windows machine remotely from my attacker's machine. I can do whatever I want to do from this particular Kali Linux machine of the Windows machine. Okay, so this is how malware can be spreaded and can be used in order to perform the malware attack. I'm going to use the exit button over here. I'll exit this particular thing. I'll exit the mid repeater also. I'll exit everything. Okay, done. So as you can see, we have seen the demonstration of 4 really very important attacks, which is phishing, SQLI, DOS, and malware. I hope all these things were informative for you. You have learned in something new in this particular session. Now you will be ready. You are ready to explore the things by yourself. If you face any problem, any issue regarding executing all these demos which I've shown to you, all the attacks which I've shown to you, or you want to explore the security field in detail, you can contact me. Okay, so that's it for this particular session. Happy hunting, happy learning, and all the best for your career in cybersecurity. Really, really all the best in your career in cybersecurity.